Who the hell am I? God, that's a good question. Well, I'm Andrew McMahon, play for the band Mannequin.
You gotta swim, swim for your life. Swim for the music that saves you when you're not so sure you'll survive.
Yeah, it's a tune called Swim from the Glass Passenger record. Swim is a song that, for me, is about hope, and it really, for me, was really about sort of universal hope. I just remember kind of coming across the word and sort of being in one of these sort of rainy day kind of scenarios, and I sat down at the piano and wrote those first words, "To swim for your life," and the song wrote itself.
Keep your head above. I found a tidal wave begging to tear down the dawn.
You know, it was kind of like one of those very quick, inspired moments, and the recording was very much the same way. And I think, for me, it was a song I needed to write at that moment, both for myself, but it felt like it applied to so many people I knew and so many other scenarios that I had encountered, at least in that moment. And it made me feel better.
Andrew McMahon, 22 years old. I play for two bands, one called Mannequin, one called Something Corporate. And I am now officially a leukemia patient.
You know, it was sort of this snapshot. I had just gotten very comfortable cruising around with this handheld camera while I was recording everything in transit, actually. I sort of had developed a closeness in the sense, like I felt like I could talk to this video camera. And then, you know, when I ended up in the hospital and all that stuff, I you know, almost needed it more than ever. I used the camera to kind of just vent.
And I'm sure as soon as this chemo kicks in, I'm going to start feeling resentful and start getting mad and start asking, why is this happening to me? I think every moment like this, I plan on recording, just so I don't forget what it is to be this ready to fight.
And I had a friend who knew that these tapes existed and who I've been close with over the years, and they said, well, you know, would you ever think about, you know, trying to put this together and, you know, let people, you know, and let people see what happens from the first-hand perspective. You know, you brought your camera into hell. Let people know what it's like, and, you know, if anything, educate them about what happens in this sort of process.
And all I can do is just hope and pray that when I leave here, we're on the right track, and that I'm not having to do this for a really, really long time. Because I cannot fucking stand this place.
I remember I woke up the other day and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, I swear to God, I think just like 5 years of my life just went like that, just disappeared. You know, and not in a way I was really lamenting per se, but just noticed that it just had, like, this whole segment of my life, it just kind of evaporated.
I've had this cough that just has not gone away, and they're finally giving me cough suppressants and things like that, but it doesn't help this feeling from my throat to my chest that
Tommy narrated the documentary. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, Tommy and I, we became buddies around the time that I was recording everything in transit, and he ended up recording the drums for the first album, and you know, we became close, and even in the process of when I wasn't well, you know, there was you know, Tommy would always call in. He came into the hospital. He was great, and he's got a great voice, and he obviously helps put a little bit of a name on the movie, and I appreciate his involvement for sure.
After his first round of chemotherapy, Andrew contracted pneumonia, which is the actual cause of death for 48% of cancer victims. With no immune system to fight it, the pneumonia continued to advance. However, on June 29th, Andrew's counts began to rise and he slowly regained consciousness. He survived, but he was shaken.
Watching it is hard. Yeah, it's hard. And there's a reason that, you know, we thought it was going to come out a while ago and it didn't. It just got to the point where it's like, we were going through edits and it was just brutal, you know. I finally feel like I have enough distance, and I've reconciled, I think, a lot of those things. I think the recording of Passenger really helped me reconcile a lot of what had happened.
Doctors say that the first 100 days of a transplant are the most critical to a patient's survival. As that day approached for Andrew, he was still in the painful early stages of his recovery. Yet he insisted that this milestone be marked by his return to the music and to the stage that he had grown up dreaming of.
We decided that we would try to put together a 100 Days show, and we would have Andrew and the band play together for the first time in front of an audience.
It's been a pretty crazy 5 months, and I just have to say thank you all for coming out tonight and being here on a very important day for me, and yeah, I appreciate it very much.
Getting the Dear Jack film out. It's a little scary to put it out, but like I said, I think I have the perspective now that I can get it out there, and I think this for me is going to represent the closing of this chapter of my life, which I'm very eager to have closed, to be honest.